My supervisor wanted to test the feasibility of using games, tools and apps to get data from autistic children who are non-verbal and who have more severe forms of autism, because most of the data that goes into labs is from children who have mild autism. They can go and answer questions, sit around for a long time, etc. We wanted to see if a game that can be made in France can be played by intellectually disabled children in India and the data be analyzed in the US. So as the child was playing the game, we gave the parents and teachers a list of questions asking them to evaluate the child's performance to check for correlations between this qualitative data and the quantitative data that we obtained through a game analytics software. Once the project was over, I wanted to continue collaborating with the schools. On asking the schools for suggestions for games that could be made by the game lab, this particular school used classical dance as a form of therapy, and they were willing to explore any game that made the child move. And this was when I realized that there were a lot of games using Kinect that already existed, and many researchers were looking to get data into the data from the motor skills of autistic children. So I had made a list of games, tools and apps to get some ideas, inspiration and also learn from their limitations. So this was initially very messy, and after explaining it to my supervisor, he asked me to classify the projects based on categories. So I'll quickly run you through the categories, which are early diagnosis and research into the nature of autism, supports evidence-based research, serious games and virtual environments, technology for parents, teachers, tools and therapists, tools for the autistic child, what they are looking to measure, which is EEG or ECG, eye tracking, mental skills, motor skills, sensory skills, their area of interest, social interaction, communication, behavioral patterns, improving a particular skill set, comfort. For example, there is a software that helps autistic children prepare for dentist appointments by showing them how the hospital looks, how the instruments sound, etc. a week before the appointment, so that the child is not too overwhelmed by the new surroundings, and other miscellaneous softwares and keywords. So a red plus indicates a direct relation, while a green O indicates an indirect relation. So I had included 3 more categories where I subjectively ranked the projects, and it's called the Gale factor, and it's there. So it's implementability. If a game, tool or an app can be downloaded for free and can be easily understood and is effective, it gets a high score. But if a project involves the child to go to a hospital and take an MRI, for example, it gets a low score. Second is effectiveness or stage of research. If a project is backed by a large sample size and good scientific validation, it gets a high score. The third is customizability or interoperability. So let's consider 2 projects that has a plus for serious games, but where they differ is one project has a plus for social interaction while the other project has a plus for communication. I wanted to see if the component that causes a plus for a category can be taken, customized and added to the other project to make it a plus for all 3 categories. For me, if a game, tool or an app has a potential to benefit say 10,000 children and it ends up benefiting only 100 because the others don't know about it, this is a big problem. For example, my supervisor has been in the autism research, has been an autism researcher for over 20 years, and she was not aware of some useful games, tools and apps on this list. For example, Minecraft is a game that's loved by many autistic children, but they often get bullied in the server. So this father, who was a programmer, made this game called Outcraft, which is Minecraft exclusively for autistic children. The game is very popular in Canada, but being in France, we had no idea about it. The one thing that stood out for me while making this list was many initiatives were started by a parent, a brother or sister who had somebody on the spectrum. For example, special salsa. A mother found that making grilled tomato salsa was a good way to bond with the child. So it was a small network of 5 parents and 5 children making tomato salsa on a weekly basis. It so happens that in the biggest supermarket of the area, the owner's son is autistic. As a result, it's become a big network now where all the salsa bottles are produced by autistic children and their parents in a completely different research setting in France. So the mother calls this activity as bonding with her son, but researchers use terms like imitation and joint attention. There was a project that emphasized on activities like cooking, for example. In another part of the world, there was this app being developed that helped autistic children learn how to cook to improve their fine motor skills, etc. The point I'm trying to make here is these projects don't know that the other exists. So I had made a list of different companies ranging from Microsoft and SAP to small bakeries, car washes and laundry shops that employ autistic people. So this is a list. The second list is let's say an autism association in France. Third is a list of games, tools and apps that improve a particular skill set. The fourth is schools that have 16 to 18-year-old autistic students. These companies are willing to employ more people, but it's up to the company to spend resources in terms of time and money to train the people to cover for their weaknesses. For example, in a bakery you need good social skills. So if the games, tools and apps that improve a particular skill set, for example communication, if they can collaborate with the schools and the last 2 years of the child's schooling, if this weakness can be reduced, then more people can be employed by these companies. Now, if only let's say that there's a parent of an autistic child who owns a big hotel in France. If only he could see that there was somebody else in the United States somewhere having a small bakeries that employs few autistic children, if he is in a situation to do something similar, he would do so, because I feel research labs often see other research labs as competitors and not collaborators, but anybody who is touched by autism or who has someone close in the spectrum is united by one thing. I call it the holy grail of autism research, which is safely decrease symptom severity, improve everyday functioning and enhance the quality of life. So everybody is motivated to have for the lives of the autistic children to improve, and despite having different therapies and views on different things. So the research world, I feel it's not a very nice place, and it's plagued by the publish or perish mentality. You get so many papers being published on a regular basis, and many of them often do not have any impact on the autistic children's life whatsoever. And on the internet you have hundreds of games, tools, apps, therapies that make ambitious claims without scientific backing or statistical power. For example, autism comes with a list of comorbidities, for example poor digestive system, allergies to different things, ear infections, etc. If I party all night tonight and I go to class tomorrow and I am sleepy, it's because I didn't have enough sleep. It's not that I have attention deficit disorder. So there was this parent who ignored the autism diagnosis and wanted to focus on curing the individual symptoms. It so happened that in this case the individual symptoms showed autism like behavior and the child was cured, but she did use very risky treatments like chelation therapy, but she has generalized this view to an entire organization that's huge, when in fact there may be many children in the organization who actually have autism and may have comorbidities. So the thing with autism is I feel autistic children are like snowflakes. No two snowflakes are the same, and often you get a lot of treatments that may be specific only for a particular group, but it's generalized to everybody. So I would like to take a small yet significant step to change the status quo with on autism research. So for me, the core or the engine of the project are the parents and caregivers. It's the parents and caregivers who have a lot of experience dealing with the autistic child. They would have many ideas, hypotheses and suggestions. So I want to create a profile based system or a directory where every parent's voice is heard. They get to so they write down their skills or the areas in which they are employed in, and they get to add the ideas or what they would like to change in the autism world. And I would like to match a parent's idea to another parent's skills across different geographic locations. So an important step in my project is the data validation system for the 180 projects that I have classified. So I plan to send each of these projects to their respective research teams, ask them to check if the classification is right, ask them to add information, and also provide them with a link to a media wiki where they will describe the project in a way that will which is understandable to the parents. I've identified 7 primary stakeholders this project. So there are researchers, parents and caregivers, schools and associations of autistic people, universities and students, people who make games, tools and technologies, the autistic children themselves. My name is Anirudh and I am a master's student at the Center of Research and Interdisciplinarity in Paris, and I'm hoping to work on this project for the rest of my masters and my PhD. Around a year back, my supervisors had come up with this Interact project proposal, which is trying to change the closed scientific way of doing things to a more open approach that would involve the active participation of different stakeholders in data collection and data analysis. So, I had some ideas that would make many people laugh. For example, I felt the grandparents of autistic children could contribute a lot to research if they were provided an interface where they can help analyze data using simple statistical tools. The thing with most project proposals, including the one I just mentioned, is they are written in a very impressive way, but often strategies used to implement the project on a in the long run are found wanting. So, what you see here is a list of strategies I have been working on to make all of this happen.